Imagine an event so absolutely terrifying, it literally strips away the single most fundamental pillar of human existence. In today's explainer, we're not talking about a simple power grid failure or some natural disaster. We are looking at the ultimate countdown. We're going to walk through the exact terrifying timeline of what happens to humanity when the sky just goes dark. Picture this. Your alarm goes off, it's 7 a.m. You roll out of bed, totally expecting that normal morning light. But as you look out your window, there's just nothing. No sunrise, no morning glow. Just this thick, heavy, suffocating darkness blanketing your entire city. Naturally, your first thought is logic, right? Maybe your broken clock, a freak storm. But then, minutes turn into hours. And that deep, creeping dread really sets in. You check the news, you frantically scroll your phone, and the realization hits. Billions of people all at the exact same time. This isn't just some unexpected eclipse. The sun has simply vanished, and absolutely nobody knows why. Okay, let's dive into this because the clock starts right now. It's a 24-hour countdown to total collapse. Minute 1, global confusion. Hour 1, scientific panic. Hour 12, global systems begin to fail. And by hour 24, complete psychological collapse. So, let's look at phase 1. That first dark hour, where artificial lights are still on, but scientific panic is already setting in. While the general public is desperately flooding social media for answers under the glow of city streetlights, the world's scientific community is already in a state of sheer, unadulterated terror. Because the sun isn't just a giant light bulb up there, it is the literal engine of life on Earth. And astrophysicists, they know exactly what happens when that engine suddenly shuts down. Which brings us to phase 2. The big freeze, where global temperatures just absolutely plummet. As you can see right here, cut off from solar radiation, Earth instantly starts bleeding its warmth into the dead vacuum of space. And the speed of this freeze is honestly violent. At hour 1, the drop is barely noticeable. But by hour 12, the cooling violently accelerates. By the time we hit hour 24, plunging global temperatures threaten to turn tropical zones into frozen, completely uninhabitable tundras. And the silent horrors unfolding in nature are just staggering. Photosynthesis, it stops instantly. That means the absolute foundation of the global food chain is completely severed. Animals lose their evolutionary compass. Bird migration patterns collapse entirely. The whole animal kingdom is basically plunged into absolute chaotic confusion. Moving into phase 3, we have to talk about the oceans. It's a silent collapse right beneath the surface. See, on land, the freeze is immediate, but the ocean actually acts as this massive thermal battery, holding on to its heat just a little bit longer. But unfortunately, it's a false hope, because as surface temperatures inevitably crash, it triggers these chaotic, completely unpredictable weather systems. And beneath those black waves, massive marine ecosystems slowly begin to suffocate. And that leads us to phase 4, the global blackout. This is what happens when the satellites die. Let's move to this next part and see how this builds, because while the natural world freezes, the human world completely shatters. A terrifying cascade begins. Step 1, solar power systems fail worldwide, crippling our already strained power grids. Step 2, out in orbit, our satellites lose their solar power and silently die. And step 3, instantly global navigation, GPS, and communications just go dark. Think about it. Thousands of commercial airplanes would lose their navigation simultaneously, flying completely blind over a world that's plunging into an icy blackout. Now for phase 5, the psychological collapse, basically losing the light inside. You have to remember, humans evolved under the sun for millions of years. Without it, our own biology turns against us. Our circadian rhythms are shattered. Hormones completely destabilize. Our internal biological clocks just fail. Stripped of daylight, raw panic spreads like a wildfire. Without the sun, we literally stop trusting time itself. Someone once described it perfectly. After 24 hours of darkness, the world would feel completely different, silent, cold, unnatural. It's this profound existential anxiety of a reality that we were simply never built to endure. Okay, phase 6, the real science. Let's look at whether this could actually happen. Let's all take a deep breath here. The sun is a massive nuclear fusion reactor with enough fuel to burn for billions of years. The laws of physics simply do not allow our star to just blow out like a candle. Scientifically speaking, a sudden switch off is an absolute impossibility. But let's go back to our hypothetical for Phase 7, survival protocol, the desperate struggle for order. If the impossible did somehow happen, the initial response would be incredibly chaotic. Emergency shelters would burst open globally. Strict food rationing would be enforced within hours as crops fail. Militaries would flood major cities, desperately trying to maintain martial order, while massive supply chains violently collapse into dust. And this brilliantly illustrates a terrifying truth about our existence. With the sun, we have order, advanced technology, warmth, and life. Without it, even for just a brief moment, we plunge into deadly temperatures, total grid failure, and primal panic. Our modern world is unbelievably, almost shockingly fragile. One single star. Every human empire that has ever risen and fallen, every modern city, every piece of technology, every single life on this entire planet exists entirely because of just one star, burning silently out there in the void. Which leaves us with one final, chilling thought for today's explainer. If the sun disappeared for just 24 hours, would humanity actually weather the storm? Or would our fragile civilization instantly collapse into chaos? Tell me how you would survive that first terrifying hour in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next explainer.